Hey, welcome to the show. This is our recap of our monthly sales for September of 2025 on eBay. We do this every month, primarily for our website visitors and really for those of you that are going through our beta program of our automatic sports card profits program. But it's just a recap, just for authenticity, for just to show behind the curtain, so to speak, and just like to make sure that we do this on a monthly basis. We're doing this publicly. Sometimes we put them on eBay, sometimes we don't. They're always on our website. Um, and I'm going to start with this card here. This, I think, was our largest sale price wise of a card on eBay during the month of September. And some of you probably saw the video where Don and I were in Myrtle Beach at a card show this past over the summer. And I was talking to a gentleman there, and he was giving me a lot of tips and just encouraged me. You got to get on Whatnot. You got to get on Whatnot. All he does is Whatnot shows, him and his son. They do a couple a month or a couple a week, and then they do shows, and that's their business model. And a real nice gentleman, uh, intelligent, and we had a really good conversation. And he focuses primarily just on Michael Jordan. And I was telling him about these Michael Jordan cards. He says, "Oh yeah, I know all about them. They flooded the market with those cards. They're everywhere. There's no money in them." And I tried to communicate. There's a lot of money in these cards. There really is. And and I was doing it to try to communicate and help him because most of his Whatnot people are coming because they know every week he's going to have Jordan cards. And I like the guy. I hope to get to know the guy better. But my only point in saying this is saying I think sometimes we get so locked in to what we do and how we do it. And and my whole focus has always been learn a process, learn a system, master it, master it, and then move to some other aspect of the business, master it, and continue to progress. What most people do is they master one or two parts of a business. They're being successful with it, and they don't take the time to continue to grow, learn, and expand. And I think over time, that's just not a really good. That's not a really good business practice. And so, anyway, I just wanted to share that before we get into this. Just a couple of other things, real quickly, before we cover our sales on eBay. Most of you guys know we sell on 4 different platforms online. We've been doing a lot more shows this year. We've never done any shows. We decided to do it this year. That's really our focus. Most of what we're doing, most of the inventory we're securing is for a project that we're getting ready to roll out, which is, I'll call it gutsy, but we're getting ready to make some major moves for what we're doing at shows and how we're doing shows coming real soon. And but you guys will see on this channel. But so our focus really has not at all been on eBay much at all. And you'll see it'll be quite evident as we go through just our eBay sales for the month. Uh, Again, we did a couple of shows last month. We did the one in Richmond, Kentucky, or at least I did. I was there um, just as a family trip by myself. Dawn was dog sitting for our daughter. So I went by myself, and while I was there for a family get together, there was a show in Richmond, Kentucky, and I just did a single table, and it was very successful. But that was in Richmond, Kentucky, and then we just did one, the Nuga show, which was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, at this Camp Jordan Arena, great facility for a show. And the video on that should probably be dropping within the next couple of days. We did a complete video, and our editor has it right now. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to Ron McCaffrey. Ron does a podcast called The Thousand Card Project. I highly recommend this podcast. It's on YouTube. I went back, I've listened to every episode. He has interviewed some great people, very knowledgeable, and Ron himself is extremely value focused. How do you provide value to the hobby, to the market, to collectors, to investors? And I was really shocked, but he asked me to be on the podcast. I was on there last week, or it dropped last week, or in the last couple of days, the podcast dropped. It's right here. Systems Overhype, which I thought was a pretty good name. He came up with that. So if you want to go check that out, but I would check out the entire podcast. Really good information. And I so appreciated him asking me. It was really more important than he will ever know. And I'll just say that. And it kind of took me back. I remember the first time I was in a sales organization when I was 20 years old and was setting some records. And I remember I was in a small town in Kentucky, and people from Huntington, West Virginia contacted me and asked me if I would come and speak at an event when I was 20 years old. And it just blew my mind that anybody would want me to come and speak about anything for anybody. But I had set some sales records. And that was the very first time that I remember driving to Huntington, and that whole feeling that I had when that happened. And, after that time, over the years we had an infomercial that ran for a couple years all over the United States. I've been on dozens and dozens of radio and TV shows and been interviewed multiple times over the years with different business niches that we've been involved in. So it doesn't really affect me anymore. I do paid speaking gigs for insurance companies and real estate companies and schools, and it's just been part of my life since I was 20. But when he called and asked me to talk about sports cards, it almost took me back to that trip to Huntington, West Virginia. So anyway, guys, I hope you'll check it out. He does a phenomenal job, and I hope you'll enjoy it. I also wanted to say before we get into this, if this is your first time here, I kind of apologize because it's really getting to the point as we continue to refine the systems that will make you profits guaranteed in the sports card market. And I did say guaranteed profits, that if you're not real in tune with some of the systems and what we teach, and if you're not part of the beta program, or at least, keep up with what we do here on YouTube and on our website, then some of this may be confusing. And I'm not going to try to take the time to get into a lot of detail. So if I talk about, buy raw, grade, and flip, most people know what that means. But when I say, I use different verbiage and technology and word technologies that you may not be familiar with, and I apologize. And I just wanted to say that if you have questions, always you can feel free to contact me. I will do my very best to answer them for you, or at least point you in the right direction. But what you will see as we go through our sales on eBay this month, you're going to see more than any other months. You're going to see a lot of cards that came from these Peddler's Mall hauls. We did videos on those. You saw that. We went, and then we went back about a month later. You all probably saw that. So we're talking about our cost of cards is about a penny a card, less than a penny a card. And then a lot of the basketball cards came from a huge basketball card collection that I bought off from a gentleman on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't film any of that. I should have. I didn't. But he was real squirrely about privacy and didn't want any kind of video or anything. And I don't blame him for being squirrely. If you're buying on Facebook Marketplace, you need to be aware for sure. No question about it. But I didn't even do any video, and I should have at least, did a video after we got the cards and shown what we got. I could have. I didn't, but it was probably our best one of our best purchases this past year. And a lot of what we sold this month came from that. And then some of the other just regular methods that we teach. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Also, you may have seen the video we did earlier this month, I believe, called The Easiest, Fastest Way for Newbies to Double Their Money in the Sports Card Market. And it was about team cards. It's on YouTube right now. You can check that out. But you'll see a lot of sales from the cards that we picked up at the shop in Woodstock, Georgia as well. So let's get into it. So what I like to do, I like to go right through this eBay account. And if I remember where or how we got the card, what system we used in securing the card, then I like to mention as we go through. This Otani card came from a dollar box at a shop in Lexington, Kentucky. We bought it for $1. It was worth sending for grading. We sent it for grading, and we sold it for $50. So, PSA has gone up recently at the time of this recording to about $22 a card. But at the time that this happened, our grading fee was $20. So we're looking at $21 for the cost of the card. So, we did double our money on that. This came from the Peddler's Mall lot that we bought. The video is on YouTube. I just shared with you. This is from my personal collection. I've got a few of these and was just selling some of them. I've had these for years. This is Mike Schmidt Hostess card we sold for $3.95. This is Buy Lots, Sell Singles. Bobby Cox, the manager of Atlanta Braves. This is from the shop in Woodstock that we did the video on. Buy Lots, Sell the Singles is 87 John Crook. Kind of has a cult following, great player, enjoyable player to watch back in his day. Randy Johnson, Buy Lots, Sell Singles. This is from the Nashville show. The show we went to in Nashville. It's coming up. I think maybe in the next week or two we're going back. But the Nashville show we went to, I think it was this summer. We did a whole video on that when we were in Nashville, and then we turned right around and went to Cincinnati and got the LA autographs and all that. And if you are a regular viewer of this channel, you saw all that. But a lot of cards from that Nashville show as well in here. This was Buy Lots, Sell Singles. This is set break of the rookies. I think we paid $5 for this. And we've sold a lot of cards from this set already. This was another one that sold. This came from a dollar box also in Kentucky, but at another shop. This actually came from the Kentucky Roadshow shop. We bought it raw, graded. Buy Lots, Sell Singles. Gerald Strawberry. This is from the Woodstock, Georgia cards that we bought. I have no idea where this one came from. And I have no idea where this one came from. This is from the this was Buy Lots, Sell Singles. I bought several Magic Johnson cards. Not sure where Eric came from here. This is from Peddler's Mall, the Antique Mall lot that we bought. We have a penny in this card. And then someone came in and bought all four of this. This is a cool card. I put one back for my personal collection. It's just of the Hall of Fame in New York. And he came in and bought all four of the ones that we had listed. Travis Kelce, this is from a dollar box in Kentucky. This is from a set break from 1991 Upper Deck set break. This is Nashville. This is Buy Lots, Sell Singles. Nakua, that's from the 50-cent box at Cards HQ, and so is this Harmon Killer Brew from the 50-cent box at Cards HQ. I'm going to be doing an entire series on the 50-cent box at Cards HQ here in Atlanta. So if you're not a subscriber and you'd like to see that, make sure you subscribe. This is Nashville. Cost of goods on these were like, it was less than 30 cents a card. Billy Williams, 1972 tops, also from the Nashville. Boomer, buy a lot, sell singles. LeBron James, this came from a dollar box from a shop in Tennessee when we were driving back and forth from Kentucky to Tennessee. I'm not sure where this Troy Aikman came from. This definitely came from Nashville, the show there. So anytime I say Nashville, those cards were less than 30 cents. This came from the Woodstock, Georgia shop. I've had this listed for a while. These Sparky Andersons were buy lot, sell singles. Bought a whole lot of these Sparky Anderson. This sticker was, I bought a whole group of stickers were also included in the first lot that we bought at Peddler's Mall in Lexington. So I sold some of them individually. I sold some of them in groups on eBay. We may have a few groups left on eBay. I'm not sure. But what we had left, I've just packaged together and we sold them at the show. Just a whole group of these stickers, clear stickers, at the show in Chattanooga this weekend. And then the Tigers card, I'm not sure where that came from. This is from Nashville. This is from the Facebook Marketplace purchase. When you see basketball Facebook Market, we have less than a penny a piece in these cards, this collection that we bought. This is buy lot, sell singles. We've been all over this card all year. If you watch us regularly, you know that. So this is one we picked up on eBay earlier this year. I think right now we have 3 of these cards at PSA for grading. This is Nashville. This Cal Raleigh came from the 50-cent box at Cards HQ. And we lost big time on this. Let me show you. We bought this card, sent it to an alternative grader. And sometimes we don't do a lot of auctions. Most of what we do on eBay is buy now, but we did run this auction. And it only came back a 7, which normally what I like to do is if I get a few 7s, is just sell them together in a lot. But because Cal Raleigh's been so hot, we just threw it up on eBay as an auction, and we lost on that. It only went for 99 cents, which it happens sometimes. This, one of the alternative graders that we're working with, was very late on an order, and they sent us a pack, a repack pack that they sell that has a guaranteed graded card in it. And then it was this Jalen Waddle, and we just did the same with that. We threw it up on eBay as an auction. Our cost of goods really was nothing. And we like to do some of these auctions because we feel like, it brings more eyeballs to our store. But it went for $1.25. This is from the Antique Mall, Peddler's Mall. This is from the basketball card lot that we bought. This is from a 50-cent box at Cards HQ. This is buy lot, sell singles. This was from Nashville. It looks so good. We did have it sent for grading. I thought it would at least come back a 3. It came back a 5. Again, we have 30 cents in this card. Less than 30 cents was $20 for grading. and we ended up selling it for $32. That's about a 50% return. This is from the Peddler's Mall purchase. This skeins came from a trade that we did at a show. This is Kirk Cousins, buy lots, sell singles. Okay, let's just keep rolling here. And I hope you guys can see what they're selling for. I'm not saying it every time. But Mookie Betts, that's from Nashville as well. 15 Dave Magadan cards. This was from my personal collection. You know, had high hopes on Dave Magadan when he first came out. Thought he was going to do something. I've had these listed for a while. They sold 15 Dave Magadan cards, I'm sure, to a Mets fan. He was from my personal binders from back in that time period, $2.95. This is from a set break, post serial cards, Juan Gonzalez. This is also from a set break of the little Fleer box set, Baseball's Hottest Stars. This is a dividend play with Ron Gant. This is from Nashville. This is a dividend play, Greg Jeffries. This was from my personal collection, second year card. This is a dividend play, Dave Justice, buy lots, sell singles. This came out of a dollar box at a shop here in Georgia, not Cards HQ, but another one. We bought it for $1, and we've had this online. It's been up there for a while, but we'd sold one of these before. And so we had $21 into it, made $8, not too bad. This is from the shop in Woodstock. We got 30 cents in this card, sold for $19.99. This is a dividend play, Dave Justice. We've got a ton of these, and they sell, as you guys can see, they sell well. This is a buy lot, sell singles, Boomer Esiason. If you look, last month's purchases is where we bought. This is when we bought these. This is a breaking of a box set, the 87 rookies from Toys R Us. This has probably been in our store for a year and a half, I would say. Of course, the Barry Bonds and Canseco and McGuire and Barry Larkin, those sell quickly, but some will sit for a while, and this set for a while, but it sold. All cards will sell over time. This is from the Facebook Marketplace purchase. This was from a quarter box at a show. I think it was the first of the last, not this past weekend, but the Chattanooga show before that. Here's a Cal Raleigh that we pulled out of the 50-cent box at Cards HQ in the beginning of the summer. Sent it to an alternative grader, got it back and sold it for $35. Same with this Jackson Holiday. This was the 50-cent box at Cards HQ. Sent it to an alternative grader, and it sold for $25. He said, well, Dale, you didn't make much if it sold for $25. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about alternative grading, there's several videos that we have on our YouTube channel here. You need to go check it out, because we didn't pay $22 or $20 to have this card graded. We paid $8. So now, if you look, the card cost us 50 cents from the 50-cent box at Cards HQ, $8 to grade it, and we sold it for $25. So that's triple our money. Why? Because we're using alternative graders, and it's a secret. If you really want to make profits in this business, using alternative graders is very important. Okay, let me keep on rolling here. This is from a set break, and you'll see me do this a lot. with different set breaks. Those of you that are part of our beta program for our guaranteed automatic sports card profits course, you've seen me do this with multiple sets and set breaks. But we just pulled out the 86 Diamond Kings from my 86 Donner set, and sold just the Diamond Kings alone for $18. This is a dividend play. This is from Nashville. This is from that huge Barry Larkin lot that I bought. People tell me you're not going to make money, you're going to lose money. I mean, I was getting comments when I put that video out that I was embarrassed for the people leaving the comments, honestly. And, long story short, we made all of our money back the first week after we bought that lot. So I just jumped over to the channel real quick, typed in Barry Larkin here, and there it is. Because I'm saying, look, I'm going to make 100% return on my money from this eBay buy. I'll make 1,000% return. And I talked about it, and of course I got all kinds of grief, and I felt sorry for people, really. That, it's amazing. It blows my mind sometimes. It really does. But anyway, you guys have seen me ever since, whenever this video was done. It was done a year ago. And you guys have seen me, that watch this regularly, have seen me sell Barry Larkin cards every single month since. And you also saw the first month after we bought this lot, we made all our money back. And we showed you that in our reviews that we do here. So let me continue. This is one of our favorite cards to sell. This was only an 8, unfortunately, and we lost $1 on it. But this 3D Ricky Henderson, we sent it to PSA. But it's a great card. If it comes back a 9 or 10, you can do really well. Boomer Sizing, that's from the Buy Lot Sell Singles. I've had a couple of these. I think this was our last one. Had this for a long time. Had this listed for a long time. And this is Chris Sabo, Rookie of the Year, played for the Reds. This is his minor league card and a PSA 9, and it sold for $27. Okay, Vince Coleman, and Willie McGee. Not sure where that came from. This is Buy Lot Sell Singles. This is Nashville. Buy Lot Sell Singles. Boomer, another Barry Larkin, another Barry Larkin from that lot. I'll be selling these cards for months and months. Chipper Jones, Buy Lot Sell Singles. This from the 50-cent box at Cards HQ. It's a die cut of Michael Vick, kind of a cool looking card. Sold it for $2.95. Bought it for 50 cents out of the 50-cent box at Cards HQ. Troy Aikman, I bought a football lot that was in it. Mac Jones, Buy Lot Sell Singles. I'm not sure. Oh, this is from a Pro Set break. This is a dividend play, Buy Lot Sell Singles. There's another team card. I'm not sure where this one came from, but it's PSA 8, sold for $29. Mike Musia. This is from the Peddler's Mall in Lexington, Kentucky. We bought a huge, and I didn't do this either. This was off Facebook. I've probably talked about it. Bought a huge box of relics and autographs off of Facebook Marketplace. I pulled out about, I have to go back and look at the numbers, but maybe 50 to 100 that I wanted to sell like this on eBay. I took the rest of them and I took them to Cards HQ, and I got store credit for more than what I actually paid for the collection to begin with. So all of these that I've been selling are, my cost of the card or the patch is virtually zero because I got full store credit from the rest of them that I actually sold to Cards HQ. Buy a lot, sell singles. George Brett. This Don Drysdale was from my personal collection. We sent that to PSA. This is from Nashville. Nashville. This came from the 50-cent boxes they have at Cards HQ. Rainbow foil of Dodger Stadium. Picked it up for $4 or $1.50 and sold it for $4. Had this listed forever. These originally came from breaking a set of 1987 tops, and I probably did this, I don't know, a long time ago before I got back into the hobby. So a long time ago, I just took a whole set of 1987 tops, and all I did was make team sets from each team, and then sold them individually. This was from Peddler's Ball, Nashville. Here's the Michael Jordan that I think I've already talked about. Yeah. So for $134.99, we were at a show. I can't remember the show, but a gentleman had just 3,200 count boxes, and he had just packs in there. Packs of, junk wax Donruss and a lot of junk wax packs. And he had 4 or 5 of these North Carolina collegiate card packs for 50 cents a pack. Because I remember I paid $3 and I got 6 of those packs. And from that $6, I pulled 2 Jordans. And this one was worth sending for grading. He came back at 10. So I got $3 into the entire purchase of those collegiate packs. Got another Jordan that I sold raw for $10. Not this exact same one, but another Jordan card that we sold for $10 at a show, which paid for my $3 investment. And then this was all profit, minus our grading fee. So pretty good hit there. And this is from Nashville. This is from a quarter box actually at a shop in Kentucky. This was from my personal collection. Had this card for years. I lost about a little bit after I paid for grading. He came back a 9. If it'd been a 10, I'd made about $30. Greg Jeffries, this is from my personal collection. Ryan Sandberg, this is probably about the time he passed. Personal collection. This is dividend play with Ron Gant. Another dividend play with David Justice. Is this, the Bosworth error and corrected card from my personal collection. This is that Mattingly you see us sell every single month. It's a dividend play. This is from a classic game that I bought and sold the cards individually probably year and a half, 2 years ago. And this is most of them had already sold, but this Dave Magden sold this particular month. That's kind of interesting because I also sold that lot of Dave Magden. So I don't know, did he go into the Mets Hall of Fame or something? I find it kind of interesting. 2 separate orders for Dave Magden cards. Juan Marshall. This was from my personal collection. Eric Davis from Buy Lot, Sell Singles. If you see beach stuff, guys, that's just leftover inventory that we never cleared out from this account. We also have an e-commerce business, the number 4, thebeach.com, where we sell beach stuff. Buy a lot, sell singles, Nashville. This came from Cards HQ. And we sold it for $14.97 It was graded 10. And again, guys, we made money because it's from an alternative grader. Because it was from an alternative grader. I have no idea. I know this is from Nashville. We had several of these World Series cards from our Nashville purchase. Buy lots, sell singles. This is from the cards from Peddler's Mall. Sam Horn. This is from my personal collection. Sam Horn was going to be the next big thing. And I found one of my old albums, and I've just been pulling these out and selling the lots of a lot of these cards. This is from an 89 Pro set break. Another Bosworth. This is also from another set break. This is from Nashville. This is from my personal collection. I have a whole lot of Griffey Raws that I was buying back in the day, and we're just sending as many to PSA as we can now. We're trying to include one or two with every PSA order. So that's where that came from. This was a box set from Hills Department Stores from 1989. We break the box, sell the singles. Buy lots, sell singles. Also from my personal binder from back in 82 or 83, whenever this was, $82. We bought this card for $1 at a shop in Lexington, Kentucky. I think it's called the Bullpen. And graded it, and $20 for grading, $1 for the card, and we sold it for $50. This came from Cards HQ, 50 cents. Sold it for $4.97. This is from that same shop here in Georgia. It's not Cards HQ, and I can't remember the name of the shop. But we bought it for $1, sold it for $20 after grading. We lost money, or we broke even. We lost time for sure. This was in a $2 box at a shop in Kentucky. Bought it, had it graded, came back a 9, sold it for $29. This is from that Facebook Marketplace purchase I talked about earlier, where I bought a lot of relics and autographs and pulled out about 50 to sell on eBay. Buy lots, sell singles. This is from Nashville. Here's the other cards that we got. We actually got 2 of these from Cards HQ. 50-cent box. This is a short print from a pack that we opened. Interesting. That's the first time you've heard me say from a pack that we open, because we don't open a whole lot. This is from my trip to Woodstock shop that I talked about earlier. 87. That's from an 87 set break. We lost money, but not too much. Well, we actually didn't lose because that went to an alternative grader. Came back as a 9, but we still sold it for 10. It cost us 8 to grade it, so we didn't, we made maybe a few pennies. This came from the cards at the Peddler's Mall. Buy lots, sell singles. Buy lots, sell singles. All these Jackie Robinsons we've just picked up, quarter boxes or whatever, and somebody came in and bought all that we have. This is from my personal collection. We sold Gil Hodges here in 1962 for $18. This was just my personal collection. If we'd send it to PSA, we would have lost money, but this went to an alternative grader. So it cost us $8 to grade it instead of $22. So you can see we got a $10 profit there. Here's that Ricky Henderson again. This came from an actual set break that we did, breaking the upper deck set, the 91. It came back a PSA 10. You see, we sold it for almost $70, almost 70. And that one we also sold another one this month. There was an 8 that I think it sold for like 19, if I remember correctly. It's Dale Murphy, a mini plus the regular. Not sure where they came from. I think that's it for September. Yeah, that's it. That's our sale. So you can see, guys, not a lot of big cards, not a lot of slabs. Again, it's, compared to where we started, and we could ratchet this up big time if we wanted to, but we kind of got our systems down for eBay, and we can add to them. But as I mentioned, my focus right now is shows, and we're going to be doing some crazy things. We're going to be experimenting. We're going to be taking some big chances, and we're going to be trying some things that I think over the long term will help us develop a real business with customers that know us and know that we're going to treat them right and treat them the way that we would want to be treated. And we're doing we've got a very unique idea that we're going to implement. And if you go back and look at some of our show videos and our tables, you can probably get a hint for the direction we're going, but it'll be very obvious very soon, and probably within the next month, you'll see it and we'll talk about it, especially those of you that are member of our beta program, because we go in, we break down the psychology of setting up at shows, and you guys will get a complete layout of this for sure. And I will probably talk about it in other videos that we place on our website or here on YouTube. So anyway, guys, that's our sales on eBay for last month. We also, again, sell on 3 other websites, and we're doing shows. And I'm trying to talk myself into doing Whatnot, but basketball season's coming. Kentucky might play on Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday. I'm not missing a Kentucky game. And I think one of the key things with Whatnot is if I start and we say we're going to do a show every Thursday night, then every Thursday night I'm going to be there and I'm going to commit to it. And until I see the Kentucky basketball schedule and figure out which day might work out for us, until I really study that schedule. And that's just one thing. There's many other reasons, because I know it's going to take a long time to build it up, to make it worthwhile. But I think over time, it's like everything else. It just takes work. It takes time. It takes doing the right thing, providing value to the market that you serve. I mean, I believe your long-term growth in any business is in direct proportion to the value you provide to the market that you serve. That's a rule. I believe that. And it's just, do I want to really take the time, energy, and effort that I know it's going to take to provide the type of value that I would want to provide and will provide if we decide to do Whatnot. So I would love anybody who wants to comment on Whatnot. Should we do it? Should we not do it? What do you think? I would love to get your feedback. Anyway, thanks for watching this. We'll also do a video and show you all of our purchases for the month of September. All of our purchases. We spent a lot of money on eBay this past month in preparation for what we're getting ready to roll out at shows. So I'll do that video as well. It'll be wherever you're watching this. It'll be in the same location. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this public on eBay, but it will definitely be public on our website and also in the members area for those of you that are in our beta program. So that's it. As always, your comments, feedback would be appreciated. Uh, I'm still depressed because our Reds didn't, lost in the wild card, but I'm thankful that they made it this year. I hope next year they get even better as the team continues to mature. They got a lot of young guys with a lot of talent, and it's been a great baseball season. It's not over. Who's going to win the World Series? Uh, I kind of hope Judge does, just because I like Judge, but I'd love to see Seattle, and I don't know. I'd love to see Seattle. I like the Brewers a lot. I like the way they play, but it's going to be interesting to see who wins the World Series this year. We're going to enjoy it. I hope you guys do as well. And we'll talk to you on our next video. We'll share with you the purchases that we made on eBay in September. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next video.